SVPod. Steve's in his house. Red, amazingly, is in the bed in the corner.
Wow.
I mean, he did the scrape, and then he spun around and he plopped down. So, Steve's remote. We've had a storm that we discussed. This is why we talk about the modeling, Steve.
Yeah?
It's why we pay attention to the models. By the way, next weekend could be a Miller A. That's a coastal storm, Steve. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but the models...
Could it affect our travel?
It could. There's a signal, Steve. There's a signal.
Okay. All right.
And, I mean, after this last weekend, you see what happens. You're still there. How's the snowplow situation, Steve?
Haven't seen one. I don't understand how they could see. We're not in some crazy remote area.
Oh, no.
We're 2 turns off one of the main roads in the state.
And we're in a county where, not for nothing, I mean, you're taxed at a preposterous clip. How about a plow from my man's neighborhood?
Not even a signal. I need a signal. Is there a signal that the plow is coming?
Well, you said...
I mean, good Lord.
You said wifey found a website and you're stage what?
Yeah, we're in stage 3, and neighborhood plowing is 4. Stage 4.
Oh, so you're right. You're next.
I'm like, yeah, but what was 1 and 2? It's almost 48 hours. Not 1. Just a blow-by.
Just a scrape. Give us a scrape. Nothing.
But, buddy, in the cul-de-sac, I mean, everybody who's out there right before the games, I figured I'll go out at like 1 o'clock yesterday, and we had a good. The problem is with this. Now, you could talk about the texture and all the temperatures and the snow, but it's, I guess it's that freezing rain.
Sleet.
But the way it hits your garage, like the roof of the garage, it just found like 4 different paths and just went straight off the garage right down and created these just mounds of snow that were, let's just say, rather hefty.
Dense.
And, oh, my Lord. So all the neighbors are out at the same time. They got their engines running. We got an electric snowblower, and I just had the shovel. And it was a process. I think I was out there a good hour 45 dripping. I was more worried about the cold front coming in because that's what everybody's talking about because this stuff's not going to melt. And I mean, dripping in sweat. So it was, I'm feeling stuff in my back and hips and hip flexors today that, buddy, yeah, I know I'm not in shape, but there's some twists and turns I haven't done in a while, and I'm feeling them today. And the problem is we got to get back out there.
Declining athleticism,
no doubt,
has been discussed. But this is something I want to say to you. I'm saying it for myself, and I'm saying it for any of the other older fellas out there. The snow removal game is a young man's game. And this particular storm, we got whatever we got. 4 to 6 inches of snow, depending on where you were in the D.C. area. And then it was an historic sleet storm. It puked sleet for hours. And that has to do with warm air aloft, cold air at the surface. I don't want to bore you with the details. I will say, if this interests you, I know it doesn't interest you. It does me. I give a tip of the cap. In our area, there's a group called the Capital Weather Gang. They're on social media. They did an awesome job forecasting what was going to happen. It was a very complicated setup. They pretty much nailed it. Then they have a very lengthy deep dive. If you want to understand what this was, we can explain it. And they said that this is the reason it's so dense, Steve, is they said the amount of sleet that fell, the amount of precipitation was equivalent of 20 inches of snow, but it gets packed into like this concrete, and you're trying to move it. Whether I had the snowblower going, we had 3 rounds of that, and shoveling. Got to find a place for my guy Red to take a dump.
Yeah.
Naturally, he just spins around in a circle and just shits right there in the middle of snow. Buddy, wherever you want. Outside, we're good. But it was an all-day affair, and it was like you. I went out before The Broncos game went out in the middle at halftime, went out before the Seahawks-Rams game, went out late, and there's still and Steve's neighborhood still hasn't had a pass.
No.
Don't do whatever you do. I hope none of the Norwood Athletic Club listen to this. They would be aghast.
Oh, they're
aghast at your plow situation.
Yeah, they would call it the old white gold is here. Boys got to strike while the white gold's falling. Get out there and get the gas in the trucks.
That's what I'm saying. This is a cash-making enterprise, baby. And to our friends back in Connecticut where we used to live, they got no sleet, so they got 20 inches of snow.
Yeah.
And to our friends down south, look, we're inconvenienced, school's out, can't get anywhere. Holy crap. If you've seen the pictures from, say, Oxford, Mississippi, Nashville, or these are just the places I've seen, so I can connect the dots and say anywhere in that part of the world that had just pure ice, this is no joke. I mean, there's no power. Trees have snapped. It's just awful down there. So we're inconvenienced. It's a pain in the butt. Our back hurts. But, I mean, to the folks that are down there, let's hope it warms up quickly because this was an incredible scope of the storm from all the way down from Texas through all the places we're talking about, Mississippi up through Tennessee and on points east and then north. It was as advertised. I mean, this storm, they said last week, we can joke around about weather models, this and that. They sniffed this one out, and it was a real one.
Yeah. Now just stack them together. Just keep getting them right in a row. That's all I asked for.
Just telling you, there's a signal, Steve.
All right,
signal next week. Next weekend potentially.
Yesterday morning, the problem was there wasn't enough. I went to bed Saturday after an incredible day of college hoops.
Wow,
and a big swim meet at your alma mater that we could touch on. But and I was like, do you just do the blow-by driveway to get it off, but then it's already below freezing? And I'm like, I'll just do it when we wake up, and I think that was the wrong. There wasn't even an inch on the ground. That's the problem.
Late night.
Like
no, it started late.
It was like 2:30, but it was coming.
Yeah, for sure.
It was here when we woke up for sure.
As snow days go, though, just to be hunkered down and watch a couple games of NFL football championship weekend, I mean, it set the stage for get a fire going, have the games on, and we've got a Super Bowl. We've got the Patriots and we've got the Seahawks running it back. I'm going to work backwards, Steve, because the first game was what it was.
You loved it.
We'll get to that. Seattle, LA, it's a trilogy. The games were unreal. 3 incredible football games between 2 excellent teams. I'm still not convinced Seattle's better than Los Angeles, but they beat them twice. And all you can do is acknowledge it, tip the cap. It starts for, I think, most people with Darnold. There's a word that gets used a lot about he's going to change the narrative. Narrative is what people say about you because it's what you've shown you are. Darnold didn't have a narrative. Darnold bounced around the league because it didn't work in New York. He came out young. It didn't really work in Carolina. He goes to San Francisco. He said, let me just watch and see if I can figure this shit out. Minnesota, I'm sure they're wondering, did we pull the plug after the Detroit and LA playoff game prematurely? Only they can assess that. I'm just happy for Sam because when push came to shove in the biggest game of his life, he played fantastic and is one of the reasons why they now go to the Super Bowl. 346, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He was spectacular. And I see you nodding your head. I mean, he's the first ever USC quarterback to start a Super Bowl, which is just kind of a weird statistical fact. But I'm just thrilled for him given his journey because one of the hardest things to do, Steve, is be a quote-unquote bust top 10 quarterback and then reinvent yourself and become something totally different, i.e. a Super Bowl quarterback, and now Sam's done that.
Yeah, I think the numbers with all the bust talk and all that, I mean, I'd really love to see what kind of situations. The majority of the situations these guys go into are not great. And for him to go to the Jets and the seeing ghosts. And then I always remember in Carolina, they had him and Baker Mayfield at the same time. And I wanted to say they I don't know if there was injuries or whatever, but like P.J. Walker was starting. And those two guys were sitting. And you just sit there and he bounces around. You brought up the timeline. What I think about yesterday watching it and then looking back, they won because of him. Like he was it wasn't, oh, hold on to your butts here. Don't turn it over, Sam. We're going to run the football and play great defense. No, that wasn't it at all. And I mean, we talked about in the national championship with Cignetti and Mario, some ballsy calls, man. Like to get the PI on Kupp, that's an enormous call. And you just, McDonald's not going to give you a lot, which I really like about him. He's a super buttoned up guy and has his guys ready, but you could tell he was in one early with Stafford stepping back. The way they answered, even though they were just field goals, I thought that showed a lot from the Rams that, hey, we're going to be here all day. We got 17 back. We got everybody ready to rock. And this is going to be a marathon. And Seattle said, we're good with that. We got 14 and we're going to do it. So that's what was just so impressive to me, was the way they won and why they won was because of him, which was just awesome to see.
I love that you point out the aggressiveness of the play calls, because after they survived that trip inside the 5-yard line for the Rams that could have given them the lead, now it's a 4-minute drill. Can you get first downs and end this game? And they're going play action and trying to throw, understanding the clock and the timeouts. And if we get this right, we'll be able to take knees and win this football game. But because of where the 2-minute warning fell, it got a little bit tricky for Seattle.
Yeah, Smith and Jigba's foot going out of bounds on the Rams sideline. They were right on top of that.
And, I mean, as it is, Stafford and the Rams get the ball back. They don't have any timeouts. They hit the one to Puka, and then I thought, oh, my gosh, they're going to have a throw for this. And he's just barely down out of bounds. And
I still don't get that rule.
I don't love it. I mean, I think inside the last 2 minutes, you ought to give the nod to the offense that's trying to get out of bounds. I understand why you're doing it in the middle of the first quarter, early third. You're just trying to keep the clock moving, TV windows, all that. We understand that.
Yeah.
But it's clear what they're trying to do. And, I mean, unless you're Seattle, think of how sick it is if you've got one play for the Super Bowl and Stafford's going to get a chance to line it up and wing it. But by rule, down in bounds, wind the clock, and that's the end of it. I think they need to look at that in the last 2 minutes, last minute. I don't know.
I just was aghast by the booth. Like Brady, you hear him like, oh my God, they got it. Like thinking they're going to get one more play. And then the clock never stops.
No, he was immediately, that guy was winding his arm, and my kids are both, he was out of bounds. I was like, I know, but he's down inbounds.
Yeah.
They were not thrilled. Youngsters were pulling for the Rams. I was too. I'll explain why in a minute, because I'm not anti-Seattle. Love the 12s, love the story, love the Darnold piece. I'm with you on McDonald. Strahan's asking him, you guys were kind of overlooked, and he hit him with a Tomlin. We did not care, and I believe him.
Yeah,
there's people who've got their antenna up and their ears open and they hear everything. That guy, I feel like, whatever, say what you want about us, we'll be all right. But Darnold was great. I wrote the numbers down. How about Puka? 9, 165, and 1. 9 catches, 165, and a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 10, 153, and 1. Fantasy reality, they're fantasy killers. They're real life killers. They played to their rep in this game. Both were incredible. And I got some numbers, Steve, for Matthew Stafford in the last 2 games he played against that defense that put the absolute clamps on San Francisco twice in a row. Stafford in the 2 games at Seattle this year, 831 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Lost both games. Just unreal how well he played. I was pulling for him because I just don't know how many more bullets are left, how many more laps around the track. Based on how this year went, he didn't leave it on E, right?
Mm-hmm.
That car still has gas in the tank, clearly. I mean, playing at that high a level. But only he knows what he went through to be available to play this year. Going back to the summer, when his back was so bad that it was a question of whether he was going to have to start the year on the PUP list or something.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to tell you, and I would never ask, hey, man, like, how many needles you got to take this year to be available? I would never ask. None of my business. I hope it in the end, because he's clearly still this good. I just thought, as against that defense, which is just horrifying, they can't solve the Stafford riddle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I thought there was a great report from Erin Andrews before the game about how she's been around McVay a lot. She obviously lives in L.A., has covered the sport forever. He's been super successful, but he hasn't been like that. And when he brought up the idea that every team that comes up to play the 12s in Seattle comes up a little scared, and he's like, we are coming out and throwing haymakers. And you saw that. It was both of those. You know, I was thinking about the idea of rematches in the postseason and this and that. That one felt like on an island because there is so much familiarity.
Yeah.
But damn, the talent's that good on both sides. And you got Puka and Tay on the outside, you know, healthy in this one, and they're going to let it hang out. And then, I mean, on the other side, that freakazoid Smith and Jigba, man. I mean, I get it. People are like, how does he get so open? That's how good the designs are, man. That's what they do. I mean, you line them up in the backfield. The Rams did the same thing with Puka. They move them all around. You can't just designate one. It screws up all your coverages if you say, we're going to double them no matter what. It's almost impossible because that's what they do. And the way Seattle and the Rams double motion, like, you know, they'll move a guy from one side to the other, then they balance it out with a different person to get the matchup. It was just super impressive. It was, you know, high-level chess match going back and forth. You know, the way the Rams responded down 10, you know, the fumble
After
punt.
the fumble punt, yeah.
They erase it right away.
Instantly.
Yeah, two or three plays. The Reek Woolen penalty, I don't know where you are on that.
I hate it. I hate the call.
I just hate don't go over to the visitors. Like, you're in their sideline, man.
I agree.
You just don't have to do it.
I agree, but I also think that's one where the official can put your hand up and say enough. Recognize the circumstance of where you're at. By rule, absolutely. That's the definition of taunting. I also think that in that circumstance, you could put your hand up and say enough. I don't want to throw it. You know what I'm saying?
Understood. But taunting now is what we're seeing. You don't know what's being said.
1,000%.
You know, like
great point. Great point.
Because you see Stafford immediately snap back.
Yeah, and then he snapped back with a bomb to 12 for a touchdown.
Yeah, in your eye hole.
Have some. That was. I mean, look. Should the Rams have contemplated going for 2 after one of those touchdowns to potentially make it a 3-point game? Saying you should have gone for 2 doesn't assume you get it, but even if you don't, you're down 5, and then that late drive, you're still going to take the lead even if you don't get it, whereas if you had gotten it, it's a 3-point game. This is super minutia here, but when they got inside, I want to say they threw it to Puka, and it was like second and whatever, inside the 5-yard line. They ran Kyron Williams, and they had success running in the middle of the field. I prefer to give Stafford 3 chances with the ball in his hand. They ran one, it got nowhere on second, so now you're down to 2 downs, the third and the fourth, and Stafford was kind of off schedule on third down, was under pressure, looked like he started to run and just kind of flipped it up on third, and then fourth, there was nowhere to go with the football. Maybe you think you're going to catch them off guard because they don't think we're going to run down here. I don't know. I just would. I would have tried to give Stafford three bites of the apple there to try to make something happen. There's just 22 men inside that little of space. There's just very little room.
Correct. And that's what McDonald is so damn good at, is the way I thought Brady did a great job on the fourth down, showing the double mugged up look where it looks like they're bringing 7. They essentially brought 2.
Yep.
That's we talk about this position being the hardest there is. I mean, you think about that pressure situation. I mean, literally pre-snap read in a second and a half. There's 2 guys rushing.
Yeah, and you talk so much throughout this fall, all season long, whether it's the college game, and Elko's a guy I know you mentioned a lot at A&M, just the ability to disguise coverage. And that's as much as anything, that's really, can I trick you?
Yeah.
And with a guy like Brady, who's seen it all 1,000 times in the booth diagnosing it, and a guy in Stafford who at 37 has lived it and seen it 1,000 times, if you can disguise it for their eyes, buddy, you're pulling off some high level stuff right there, and they did in the most high leverage moments. Look, it was all 3 games were fantastic. It felt like a completely different sport than the one we watched in the first game for a lot of different reasons, which when we pivot to that game we can get to. But whoever came out of this game was clearly going to be the favorite. Seattle is by 4.5 over New England. But salute to McDonald in his second year.
Yeah.
Salute to Darnold in his first year in a new place after Minnesota decided 14 wins. We're good. Are you? And now that Seattle defense gets a chance to exhale and go back to being a superhero. Stafford was kind of their kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
Just incredible high-level shit, man. God, it was fun to watch. And I just, as I say, for Stafford, I hope that he's not done doing it, because he clearly can still do it. And there's players that get to the end and they're a lesser version of themselves, and he looks like he's still prime whatever version of him he is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no doubt.
Still that guy.
Yep. And I love the approach. They just came out swinging. Could somebody just do a little research on these NFL broadcasts? I think I might just text Tirico myself, or he's not going to play in this game. Kyron Williams returned punts at Notre Dame. Every single game he goes back there, like, oh my God, Kyron Williams, they're putting him back. Like he's never done it before. Like just ask around.
I don't think it's that he's never done it as much as it's very unusual to see an NFL team use their primary back as a guy.
I understood, but the way they talk, it's like
I understand. But Smith
done it.
Looked like he was terrified from the jump. Bobbled one and then falls over himself. And I read Stafford said he told him he loved him after the game. It's being a great teammate, and no one play loses a game. They did have an opportunity late, down there driving.
Yeah. No, and when you have that many opportunities over and over, that's what makes it tough, and everybody pounces on them, the most obvious one. But the way they answered, I thought was great. So it was, it had everything.
Red, we were fine. Now we're upset that there's an R on the bed again. Get it? There he goes. See if you could scrape that R off there, Red. See how's that working? Just need the thought bubble over his head to understand what it is. Red, just lay down, bud. There you go. There you go.
Wants to know what's underneath it.
It's the same bed he's been lying on.
I understand that. Has he ripped up couches or pillows?
No, he's not that. He doesn't. He's not a scratcher, scraper kind of guy.
Maybe he doesn't understand how comfortable it is. He wants to understand what makes it so comfortable.
Probably that. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right, Red. Bless you, buddy. Bless you. He's looking for you. He's wondering where's the big man. Big man's stuck. Stage 3 of 4. Yeah. He's like, the hell with it. If he's not here, I'm leaving. Game 1, 10-7 final. 23 total first downs, 387 total yards of offense. Speaking of snow, you can make fun of why do you pay attention to the weather. I'm embarrassed. because as a weather aficionado, observer of, consumer of the information, I must admit I have tapped out of Denver/Colorado weather this year because they haven't had snow to speak of.
Yeah.
Bit of a drought for our friends in the mountains out there. Shout to the folks at Breck. Hope you guys get some snow at some point. But it went from, it's starting to snow here to full snow globe, and the whole fourth quarter just became punt and hang on to your butts. So some of the offensive numbers are limited by what became just a survive and try to advance scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But largely, the Denver defense did an amazing job on May. And, I get Peyton trying to build up Stidham, and we're going to do what we do, and they come out and they hit Mims on one, and you're thinking, all right, I see you. They didn't have a play for more than 12 yards after the play to toss to Mims. So credit to Vrabel and his defense for doing what you ought to do against a quarterback who isn't Bo Nix. But, trying to reconstruct it in my brain, there's a bunch of missed kicks. The weather takes a quarter and a half and renders it mostly just you can't do anything. Mm-hmm. But they couldn't do much of anything before the weather turned bad anyway. May and New England advance to the Super Bowl. I'm thrilled for Vrabel. He didn't have the same conversation that surrounded him like Darnold did. Darnold was a guy that was high draft pick / bust. That kind of, after Minnesota, you're wondering, I don't know, why would they let him go? And he creates a new lane for himself, Darnold. Vrabel was a guy that everybody thought, how the fuck does Tennessee fire this guy? How dumb are you? And they go from 3-14 to 14-3 a year later. And we've talked all year about being Vrabel's guys, loves Vrabel. Everybody that knows him does. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad he said it publicly because I didn't know, he didn't send me wasn't high-level secret. But, he talked to me about his defense. They have an identity. And he talked yesterday about that identity and leaning into it. And they get it from him. He was that guy. And in 1 year, it's an amazing refurbishing of a franchise's legacy, and now they play for a Super Bowl title in May's second year, youngest quarterback since Marino to go. I don't know. I'm just rambling off facts here. We can get to the game specifics. I'm just curious if you have any thoughts that you want to that are specific to the game that you felt like were important.
Could kick a field goal, go up 2 possessions.
No, stop right there, because that's in terms of X's and O's, questions after the fact. Peyton said it specifically. They changed the play out of a timeout, and he said there's a lot of things that they could look at. But they had a run play called, and they changed it, and it had no chance of working. Milton Williams was a couple of guys are in the backfield instantly. The defense for Denver has May in a bottle. Mm-hmm. You're on the 14-yard line. Are kicks guaranteed, as we saw yesterday? No. Lutz has been really good, but he missed some kicks before the weather got bad. But this is from 31 yards. He hasn't missed from there all season. If we presume it's good, which you can't assume, but I'm going to just go ahead and say 10-0. Doesn't that game feel like a lot for New England to overcome at 10-0?
They have to start pressing the gas a little bit more. It takes them out of their most comfortable game plan. So that inspiring my thoughts on go up 2 possessions. Also, did the analytics have a snow globe coming in the fourth quarter?
That's the part I don't know. That's where I go back to me as the weather guy. I don't know how that snuck up on me because I had no idea it was even a possibility. Mm-hmm. But you've got to think that the teams, if you live in Denver, the possibility that it could happen would have been mentioned. Although the weather in Denver is the most bizarre thing I've ever experienced. Literally, it can be 70 on Tuesday, snow a foot Thursday, be 70 on Sunday. I just don't get it. But the possibility that could be would only add to your reasons to make it a 10-0 game if you could.
And the whole week Peyton built up Stidham. Just watch.
Yeah.
He's going to be fine. Just watch. And the whole week I'm thinking, just don't mess it up. Your defense is elite. This crowd is going to be that much supercharged.
They were so good, too. God, that crowd, the energy in both those places. The 12s were as advertised, and that Denver, the buzz in that
awesome.
building were, God, they were great. Both of you, both fan bases deserve monstrous credit for how great you were.
And he messed it up. You can't. He did it a couple times before that, and Romo was great. Just get rid of it. Don't try. It's first down. It's second down. Whatever. If it's third down, you punt. Your defense is playing at an all-time level, and he couldn't help himself. He screwed it up. The field goal in the snow is good, but it gets blocked. Like that's going in. So these people like, how could you kick a field goal in these elements? We've talked about all year. This kicking game is totally different. You take your chances. What do you think? You just said you haven't had to play over 12 yards since the Mims play.
Nope.
You got a chance to tie the game. You got to take a chance with your kicking game.
Yeah, that would have been a tie game in those conditions. Would have been just.
They'd still be playing.
I'm with you, man, and I mean, is it an ideal way to determine who the representative of your conference is in the most important game in American sports? No, in a perfect world, you play in perfect conditions, but this is part of football, man. And I say this to someone who played it, right? I mean, figure it out, find out a way. And New England's yesterday is the definition of figure out a way. Look at how they scored.
Yeah,
they score on a play that. In real time, I don't know what the officials are doing because no one blows a whistle and no one makes a call.
They didn't either.
That no one had an idea. And people are going to crush Gene Steratore, and he's just going to agree with the officials, and then they change it, and he's going to agree with it again. It seemed like the men in stripes and the women in stripes, if there was a woman on that crew, I don't know. I just want to always let's acknowledge who was on the field. The officials, whoever they were, had no clue. In real time. Everyone's looking around at each other. No one knows. And then it's New England ball. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought they called grounding. They did.
Yeah.
They called grounding. Did it go backwards? Well, wait, did it go backwards because it got deflected?
Yeah.
If it got deflected to go backwards, then that's not a backward pass. That's a pass that went forward and got hit backwards. We see that sometimes on like if you're trying to throw like a little screen and it gets hit backwards. Well, that's not a backward pass. It got knocked backwards. I still don't know what it was.
I go back to watching Vrabel on the sidelines, and I'm always inclined.
Why'd you blow the fucking whistle?
Yeah, because the ref's like, oh, it's your ball. He's like, that's great, but why did he blow the fucking whistle? And
fair question.
That's what I don't understand. And I don't know if a moment's too big. I don't know if it's total confusion. But I was always told when it's total confusion, let it play out. Don't blow the whistle. Nobody was in harm's way. There's a guy running free for a touchdown. So
I still don't know what happened except 5 different things were called. New England got the ball, and they end up scoring on a May up-the-middle scramble because nothing was available on time. So that's how they get their 7 points. And then the only other 3 points they get is a lengthy drive to start the second half. There's a 4th and 1 where it appeared to my eyes that May got stopped. And there's an overhead view where he goes into the sea of humanity and his feet are kind of churning, but the field's frozen and his cleats aren't getting any traction and he's just sort of stuck in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't overturn it because you can't tell. And that's how they got the other 3. That's how New England scored the totality of their points yesterday. On a play that no one knew what the hell it was in real time that gave them the ball and a 4th down that maybe they got stopped, only there was no view that showed for sure that they did. Those are your 10 points. Then against a backup quarterback that can't do anything, snow, missed field goals, hang on, figure it out, put 60 more minutes on the clock. Doesn't matter how you get there. And truly, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. There was nothing aesthetically pleasing about it. Doesn't need to be.
No.
We win the game. We get to play in the Super Bowl. And they did. But in review, like a forensic analysis of that game, when you compare that to the late game, it's just kind of different things here.
Yeah, I'm interested to get your thoughts, and I think you had to do it. But the quarterback sneak where he obviously is stopped.
May?
And he challenges it. Yeah. And he challenged. Will you think we'll ever see that call overturned? Like, we watch ball every Sunday. Everybody, tons of people.
Ball watchers.
Everyone knows when he goes to they're not changing that.
No, because there's
never.
No, because there's no, and I don't think he got it.
I don't either.
But there's no view that's going to show him down. And then the part you don't know is at what point did they blow a whistle in the middle of that scrum? Because as we know, like, go back to the Josh Allen against Jacksonville play, right? There's 10 humans in a ball, and then they keep shoving it forward. Well, at what point is momentum stopped? When does the whistle blow? No clue. What do I think? I think you have to challenge it because it's in a game where 3 points ultimately was the difference in the game. You have to challenge that because it's possession.
Yeah.
It's literally possession of the ball. And maybe there's going to be an angle that shows his elbow or his butt cheek are down. But you and I are in agreement that the odds of it are almost zero. But since it's a possession in a 7-7 game where 3 points ultimately was the difference, I think you have to challenge it, even understanding what the likely outcome would be. Yeah. May has been, hadn't been great.
No.
He had an awesome season against 3 really stingy defenses, and now he faces another one. He has not been great. But when push came to shove, he didn't tell anybody on the field what he was doing, which I love.
I knew it.
Stories go. I thought it was a possibility too, but you hear stories about like
time to run it.
Like once a year, Peyton Manning would get down there on the goal line, and he wouldn't tell Saturday, he wouldn't tell his running back, he wouldn't tell anybody, but then he would just keep it, and not one person on the field ran with him. I'd have been looking for it if I'm Denver, but even looking for it, running on that snowy field. Just a hell of a ballsy call, and then to execute it, and you're on to the Super Bowl. He's a tremendous player, and he's got miles of runway in front of him. So to get here this quick with Vrabel in the first year together, man, you Patriots fans, after you suffered. Sorry, you guys had to suffer through that tough stretch.
Yeah, all I asked for was new blood, and this is what we got. New England.
It is new blood, though, Steve. Vrabel and May.
Yeah. You're going to have them. I'm going to have them.
Just like the Broncos were the team you had to have yesterday.
Yeah.
Who's going to have the Patriots after yesterday? Me and Steve. Give us the 4.5. We'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm already on record.
Anything else out of Championship Sunday? I mean, there's so many layers and things. I'm just going through some of the fact-based stuff, some of the decisions that were made. There were questions you could ask. LaFleur about. I mean, LaFleur. He wasn't coaching. That's McVay's friend. You could ask McVay some questions. You could ask Peyton some questions. Could you have kicked a field goal down there from the Rams late? Get the ball back down 1. You could. I wouldn't have. I got Stafford. I'll take my chances. I didn't mind that. Any other things, performances, people, things that happened that you wanted to mention?
No, I was just thinking about the last time this was the matchup in the Super Bowl was the longest week of our lives. Do you remember Scottsdale?
Yeah,
that was a long week.
That was your first introduction to the Phoenix Open,
Radio
wasn't it?
Row. Yeah.
How's the Phoenix Open, Steve?
Oh man, it's a little more buttoned up now, I think.
Needed it. They needed some buttons.
What's that bar all the way up at the top where they play at night?
Bird's Nest?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, stuff.
You make it to the Bird's Nest, you're not doing anything the next day.
I mean, if you make it out of the Bird's Nest is the question. Can you? Can you get out of there with your sanity and your sobriety intact? Probably not both.
That
was a long week, wasn't it?
Oh, amidst the weather here, the fourth quarter in Denver, I had Scheffler on the middle TV, and my middle daughter just walks in. She's like, "Daddy, where is that? Let's go there,
honey. That
looks really nice.
That's Palm Springs.
Yeah,
that's where our friend.
That's where Mr. Sands is.
Mr.
Right
Sands
now.
is there stealing money.
Oh,
just a life in a dome, right? 75, no win, no nothing. And Scheffler just dusts off the old clubs, goes out there and wins again. How about the youngster, Blades Brown? The kid's 18 years old. Finds himself in a final group with Scheffler.
I was thinking him in a hockey locker room. What are they calling him? Blader?
Bladesy.
Bladesy?
Probably. Blader, Bladesy, either or.
All right.
I mean, we better figure out something to call him because he's 18 and he's here, and he ain't going anywhere.
I was watching this, our guy Brady turned us on to new guy, Pearson Cootie.
Oh, yeah.
You familiar?
Of course. Of the Cootie family.
Ball striker?
Shot maker.
Yeah.
He started off great, but that event, like you shoot 10 under, and that's just enough.
To say, you can't have any round with a 7 starting it, or you're toast in that one.
That's correct. That's correct. It was a wild juxtaposition, though, in so much of the country because this snowstorm that came from Texas all the way east and then into the Northeast impacted so many tens of millions of people, and then you turn on Palm Springs.
Oh.
I couldn't bear to do it. Anytime I went over there, it just made me feel like, oh, that exists, and we're
freaking Sands.
Yeah, Sandsy. You're a pod listener, Sands. You know we love you.
Yeah, he's probably in Cabo. He's in Cabo now.
How many In-N-Outs did he eat last week? 1,000.
Probably a lot.
He should be skinny fat for all the crap he eats, but he's not. He's quite fit.
He's a handsome devil.
Television Steve Sands. Getting ready for the Olympics, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Well, he's got Farmers.
Bump, bum, 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 bum.
We got Brooksy, right?
Yeah, back in the mix.
How many tournaments is he going to play?
Don't know. As many as he feels like.
Is that true?
Not really. I mean, there's kind of the punishment piece.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. Look, Brooks was not a play 30 a year guy anyway,
No, exactly.
That was never his MO. I want to just before we're NFL kind of move on to other topics here. We've got Pittsburgh hires McCarthy. What do you think of that?
I'm more interested in what they're going to do at the quarterback position.
Well, that's the only thing that matters in this league is if you don't solve that, then you have no chance. But I live in the real world, so I don't care what social media says. That guy's won football games.
Yeah.
He wins football games. And I love what Pittsburgh said. We don't care about social media. We don't care about winning the first press conference. We're trying to win football games. That they've hired 4 coaches in their history. So the fact that they're like, here's a guy, a Pittsburgh guy. How about his life and resume? How about that? Hey, I coached 3 teams. Who'd you coach? The Packers, the Steelers, and the Cowboys. Are you shitting me? Imagine that as your resume. Iconic places and franchises, and those are your gigs. I mean, there's something to be said for sitting it out for a while. You got to be careful with that, though, because if you're gone for too long, the game will very quickly evolve, and then you get forgotten. Mm-hmm. So I read McDermott from Buffalo probably going to sit the cycle out. That's fine. Take a year, recharge, hang out. Wait for the next gig in the next cycle. But McCarthy gets that one. I know Baltimore was thrilled to get Minter from the DC from the Chargers. That was a guy that was in the mix for a number of gigs. Atlanta goes Stefanski. The Giants get Harbaugh, which was the one that felt like it was sort of in the stars from the jump. Titans get Saleh. Miami gets Hafley. So Saleh spends some time being the DC with the Niners. He's back with a head coaching gig. Hafley from the DC with Green Bay. Now the head coach from Miami. I was impressed with Hafley's presser. I mean, not that it matters. I just thought he did a really good job with it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of what are you going to do with your quarterback, that's a question in Miami. I mean, that's a question everywhere. But those are the gigs that are filled. The gigs that are open, we have lifelong tenants in Poop Town, Arizona, Cleveland, Vegas, and then Buffalo. So you have 3 teams where Arizona, what are we doing with Murray? What happens there? Who knows? Cleveland, quarterback, what are we doing? Who knows? Vegas, I think we do know what they're going to do. That'll be Mendoza. And Buffalo, you have the reigning MVP in Allen. But those are the jobs that remain open in this monstrous cycle. There's still a bunch of significant things to be hired, Steve, as it relates to like OC. What are you going to do? Who's Philly? They're still looking. Good teams that still have question marks and some big names that are out there. So I don't know. There's still a lot of intrigue that I think between now and the Super Bowl in 2 weeks, we'll get the clarity with that. But I mean, football season is essentially over, which is always that kind of lands like a rock, kind of heavy, kind of a
yeah. This is rough because now exactly to your point, we're looking at coordinator hires. You went through the list. Arizona's still no head coach, right?
No, that's the 3: Arizona, Cleveland, and Vegas. And then I say those 3, and then Buffalo's different just because it's Buffalo. So I mean, one's pretty appealing given Josh Allen.
New stadium, too.
I'm sorry?
New stadium in Buffalo.
Correct.
Pretty crazy. I saw Gannon. Packers hired Gannon, D.C.
They did. That. Arizona's former head coach.
I like that a lot.
I agree.
I would connect some dots and think Malik Willis to the Dolphins with Hafley. Right?
I mean, he's gonna get starter dough, and he should. He demonstrated when he got in with Green Bay there wasn't a giant fall off. So yeah,
I would think that too. Just knowing a little bit of how things work, I think still your backup quarterback is your guy. As far as scout team too, so maybe there's a relationship. DC, Hafley, backup Malik. So if he likes it, I mean, I thought he was. I give him a lot of credit, not to the Sam Darnold level, but that kid has obviously made himself a lot better. And and you don't see that a lot. And going back to
it's hard to do. I think it's hard to do. I'm sorry to talk over you. It's just, but you make you made the most important point about quarterbacks in the very beginning about this. Where you land often determines your fate.
Yeah.
You get drafted into an impossible circumstance. Good luck. You're just not overcoming it. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You're not overcoming it. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, Malik Willis with the Titans, and then, they drafted him too high out of Liberty. He's not a guy. Or, oh, no, actually, going to be a guy. Just act 2. It's like phase 2 or phase 3. Not phase 4, though. Phase 4 still waiting. You don't want to be phase 4 quarterback. You're just not going to get there.
No phase 4 in anything.
You mentioned a Saturday spent in the college hoop space. Did you see the show in Mackey?
I was in the middle of a swim meet, so I had the iPad. I could only go one game. I did not have that. I had Tech.
That was
Tech Houston on instead.
High level.
And then we got in the midst of some hectic races, and then I went to what else came on after that?
Well, okay,
but I didn't catch Purdue Illinois live. I watched it at night. FS1 reran it at like 1 a.m.
Okay,
so I watched it then.
So in this year of remarkable freshman performances, this freshman class is spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
DeBonsa went for another 40-piece for BYU. He's that guy.
Yeah.
I made Fleming's have for Houston the other day.
42.
All right. Acuff with Arkansas. Grown man. Boozer with Duke. There are a bunch of guys that have been like U18, Team USA. been on the radar. Everybody knows who these guys are. Then you have Keaton Wagler. I called him Wagler, but then all the day on the broadcast, it was Wagler. If I've been calling you the wrong name, my apology. We're going to figure it out. The young man went into Mackey, as good a venue as there is in the Big Ten, a special place in college basketball, and dropped 46 on their noggin. And afterwards, you had Matt Painter say, look, that's as good a performance as we've ever seen here. And this is what I love so much about it, is he was just a 3-star guy that was just whatever. No one outside of Champaign, and I'd love to talk to Brad Underwood and go, hey, when did you know this guy had that? Because he's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
He's played very well this year. I mean, he's already been something of a revelation. But 46 on a day when you had DeBonsa and Flemings and all these different guys going crazy, he had the game of the day to beat the preseason. Weren't they number one?
Yeah.
That's a tough week, Purdue. They lose at the buzzer basically out in Pauley
UCLA.
to Mick and UCLA. And then on their home floor, they get beat by a kid, drop 46. Just an astounding performance. And what he was on one. And so it was the kind of thing, Steve, where he was just like, fuck it, I'm pulling. You know what I mean? And why not? They were all, I mean, he hit I want to say he had 9 threes. Just an amazing, amazing performance.
Yeah, and Purdue had every answer.
Right, because they got Braden Smith, among others.
Yeah, and he looked like he got dinged up, rolled his ankle pretty bad.
He did.
Are we ever going to get a test on players that, well, maybe because no one wears high tops anymore. But anyway, no, that was right in the midst of it, and watching it, knowing what happened, because I'm watching, we get home, and we're talking, I think on ESPN's games, there was 240 pieces, and then a DeBonsa is happening, and I'm like, I got to go back and watch this Wagler kid. And so I watched that night, but yeah, there was some shit going on, man. I mean, in the midst of that, you got the number one team who I'd love to see Arizona play Michigan.
Well, we Monday night. If you're listening to this early, you're like, don't we follow Arizona BYU tonight?
Yeah.
Well, you're stage 4. You could stay at home
At the Marriott.
Oof.
Marriott Center.
Arizona's not yet lost.
No, and they're only given 1.5.
Oh, what does that tell you?
Yeah, I don't know. Arizona's a handful.
Yeah, they've been laying big numbers, and if you like the candy, the candy was rotten because Arizona's winning by 30 on a nightly basis. They grind you out, man. They're really good. I'm with you on love to see him play Michigan. I'm excited to see him play BYU. Again, if you're listening after Monday, you'll know the result, but we're talking on a Monday afternoon here. Yeah,
and then we got Michael Brown's back for Louisville. They go to Cameron tonight.
And Louisville's had the big lead on Duke at home, and then Duke has had some slow starts this year. We talked to Cam Boozer after that game because they went bananas in the second half in the Yum Yum House, which is what I call it. I know it's not the name. But Brown is such a difference maker for Louisville. One of the best freshman point guards we've seen in a while.
Yeah, UConn Villanova was a great game.
Overtime.
Yep.
Hurley had some kind things to say. It was. They pointed out that, remember when he had that, "You better get us because it's coming." That was after Nova beat him, and then Hurley was very complimentary of UConn, saying that. Of Nova, saying that after he felt like they'd been down a bit, he felt like that they were in Kevin Willard's first year there. He had complimentary things to say about them. That was an OT game in their place.
Yeah, it's what's eye-opening to me, and you watch it all the time, how different Big East games are officiated, physicality. It's just, and I know you're in the Big Ten, and that's obviously known for a stern whistle. But there are bodies flying all over the place in those games, and you just see horrible shot attempts and balls going not where they're supposed to when they go to the rim, and I always wonder how that translates. I thought Carolina saved a ton coming back at Virginia.
That's a huge win, man. I've been impressed watching in Odom's first year there at Virginia. They play a very fun brand of basketball.
Yeah.
So I was impressed by Carolina to go in there Carolina went out west and took it on the chin, both at your hated rival in Berkeley and at the Farm, and then they beat Notre Dame easy, and then they go on the road and beat Virginia. That was a big one.
Yeah. On the road, especially seeing these teams go
For
on.
sure.
Tennessee into that circus of Tuscaloosa was super impressive. Amen, another freshman, 29. That's his career high.
Stop right there, because that involves the whole deal with Alabama and Bediako, who was a guy that had gone out, been in the G League, came back by virtue of a circuit judge in Tuscaloosa saying he can play. And it started getting reported that this judge that gave the temporary restraining order for this Bediako to play, that, well, this is a six-figure-a-year Alabama booster whose wife's an attorney that represented an Alabama player that was charged with murder. And it felt like one of those, like, Facebook, social media posts that maybe is fake. But then Front Office Sports, like, they had the reporting on it. This is a circuit judge that's an Alabama booster. Says, yeah, no, he can play. This is where we are. That's what happens. It's what happened with Gonzaga and a player that they got
Grant
eligible.
Foster.
I believe it was a Gonzaga judge that said, no, you can play.
Yep.
And then nobody pushes back because nobody wants to fight the judge that says a player can play. Nate Oates himself said, and I quote, "The system is broken." But then Nate Oates says, well, we're just following the law here. Like the law says you have to do this? The law doesn't mandate that you go out and do this. It just says you can if you get a circuit judge to say he can. And I agree with Oates in saying that he's 23 and you have the 5-year window. He hasn't spent the eligibility. But I also agree with him in saying the system's broken. And they're down a couple of players. They were down a couple of players Saturday night. But this has to be the thing that somebody says, wait a minute, what are we doing? But every time I say that, Steve, something else more absurd happens like this.
Yeah.
So I have no belief that anybody's going to stop, because you know what it's going to require? It's going to require coaches not going out and exploiting a system that's broken and saying, you know what, we could use him, he'd help us, but it's just, I'm not doing that. But no one's doing that.
Yeah, because it feels like, to your point, Oates has had injuries and whatever. They can do it, so they do it.
Well, they can do it because they find a circuit judge that's a 6-figure-a-year booster to your school, and that judge is allowed to say, no, he can play. And so I don't have a dog in the fight, but when Tennessee goes in there and wins, you say, is there cosmically, well, Bama's banged up, which is why they're doing it. But I don't know, man. A lot of teams
are.
I'm sorry?
A lot of teams are banged up.
Of course. So everybody's joke is, well, hey, pick a school and pick a great player that's played pro. All you got to do is find a circuit judge, wherever you are, to say, no, he could play.
I just didn't realize the math, and he hasn't played since 23.
Correct.
That's where I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was reading. He said
here?
he met the guys and then he goes out and plays. He'd played in a G League game a week earlier. The fuck are we doing? Like it's just following the law. Is that what we're doing? The system's broken. And I understand what Coach Oates is saying, that what am I supposed to do? It's in a 5-year window. He hasn't used his eligibility. No, but when you leave and sign a pro contract and go down that road, the door used to shut behind you, and that was a do not enter. You can't come back this way. But, you watch these schools that have, like, European pros that have been playing professionally at a higher level for years. They can come. It's just, again, this is the rant I've said 1,000 times, no rules of any kind. But this one, and the specifics of the judge.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that they did it because they could, And there's no one anywhere to say, wait, okay, so what's the next one? What's the next one? I don't know. System's broken. And here we are. And if you're a Bama fan, you're going to go, what's the problem?
Correct.
Let's say, all right, let's have a fun little theoretical, Alabama fans. Let's say Coach Pearl did it for Auburn. Would it be cool? Of course not. Of course not. You'd say, this is crazy. What are we doing? But if it's you go, well, wait a minute now. Hold on. Let's not make any rash decisions. Just following the law here. I don't know who or what among the adults in the room will put their hand up and go, let's collectively agree we got to figure something out here. I didn't mean to stop the conversation there, but when you mentioned that game, which I watched, and Ament was really good, and I was curious to see how Bediako played. He played well. I think he had 13, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, not surprisingly, he's pretty good. He was just playing professional games a week ago. Now he's back in campus where he was 2 years ago. Anyway, that was at night. I don't know what else was happening at night. Felt like most of the big stuff Saturday was happening during most of it.
Yeah, they moved everything up.
Yeah.
Because of the weather. But yeah, did you catch Reese's Open on game day in Lubbock with the weather?
I was skiing, Steve, out in the slopes. Out in the slopes.
You're good? No injuries?
Did not skied very defensively. Didn't get hurt.
Worth it.
Enjoyed it. Time with the fam. Yes. My littlest guy that's like, you're not any good. I'm like, yeah. Where's the black diamond? Watch your boy.
You know what you got to say? How you getting home?
Hey, you hungry? You want to eat? You got any money? You got any money?
Yeah.
Well, you want food? How are you getting home? Is a good one too.
Yeah.
No, he's just heckling his dad, but it was we had to get out of there before the storm. So it was an early morning / that's how we were able to catch the most of the afternoon wave. But I missed RD. I don't know what he said.
He just had the I don't know what do you call it, the old Doppler map, and he drew an analogy of the storms coming with the fence and had Houston down at the bottom where the map where all the mixture was and coming up to Lubbock. It was good. It was a good way. Great place.
He's Reese Davis. He's great on television.
Great place to start the season because just seeing some people talk about Tech after they won, it's like, look at all this stuff you got in the Big 12. You got Houston, who's a national title contender, right? Yep. Played in the title game last year. You got Kansas, who's this prowess, who maybe has the number 1 pick in the draft still looming. You got Baylor with this circus of bringing back a player and all this.
Arizona, BYU.
Yeah, like all DeBonta and the number 1 team in the country. And Tech's just hanging there. Now they got a win over Duke, BYU, and Houston. That's going to be as good as anybody in the country at the end of the year.
That's better than anyone right now.
Yeah.
Just to have those wins.
I went and saw them play. I think it was their 3rd game, and they didn't have all their guys. But McCaslin's good, man. That team's good. The fan base is great. They are. That's where I look at the Big 12, and we've said it. Be in the league now for a couple years or more than a couple years in a row, is just those seed lines. Like where do they? Their record's not going to be as good as the teams at the top, but they're going to have wins over them.
Yeah.
So like, how do you weigh those? They were both at home and one in the Garden. They obviously still have a ton of road games to play, but the split with Houston, who I kind of think is only going to get better, which is scary to say. They're too big. He's got in foul trouble, but that's because of Toppin and how good he is. But that team with Flemings, man, like that kid, wow.
Yeah.
You always wonder if you saw a guard that could just go in a Kelvin system.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get the toughness in the defense and the rebounding. But, man, the shot-making ability to hit, and then Sharp still can make one as soon as he walks in the gym. So that's it's awesome. That game was everything. I was happy for the people in Lubbock. I thought it was really cool, Grant, just talking about what it took and how I've talked about that community of everybody. It's the only show in town, and there was no way that they were not going to have game day and then do the game. And it was just a great scene in a great place. And they were like the first, I would say, around that where this storm started.
Yeah.
Right, like West Texas.
I don't know. It originated, it really, there's a swath from Texas all the way up through New England.
So I know they had snow on the ground, which was crazy to see. But, that was intertwined amidst Saturday. Friday, Saturday, back-to-back swim meet.
Yeah, tell us about, do we have some PRs? Did we get to the medal stand? What do we got?
So it's I don't want to say all-stars, but like you had to qualify to make this meet. And
so kind of all-stars.
It was a big deal. The place was jammed. What a facility. I sent out a tweet just of the pool and the setup, and like we were there all day Friday, all day Saturday. And just the idea that you guys don't have a swim team with how great swimming is in this climate and area and everything is I'd love to see that change if possible. Because you grew up here, you know what it means.
A bunch of my buddies at Maryland were swimmers.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Sanaki. Shout out to my guy Todd Gray, Brantford, Ontario. He's the reason that the '84 Maple Leafs were my squad. Shout out to the late great Walt Podubny. These are all swimmers, man.
It was just a scene because I believe all the students are coming back for this semester. So like Saturday, matriculating through that campus, finding our way up to Terrapin Trail Garage and getting over to the swim facility. But had a great day. Got some PRs. And then on Saturday, we're walking out, and I didn't know if something like happened in the locker room. Like I could see like a little glassy eye of my daughter walking out, and I'm like, "Hey, everything all right?" She's like catching her breath, and she's like, "Coach told me I made JOs."
What's that?
Like, you're telling me, buddy. I'm like, JOs. I'm like, let's get to the car. Get to the car. Who do we call? Chief, CC qualified for JOs. What's JOs? Junior Olympics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy cow. So it was an awesome ride home. Great conversations about the time we put in and making the most of it. But it was cool. It was really cool. It was only like the third time. I give Coach Kent all the credit. He had not entered her in that 100-meter butterfly.
So that's the event that
right now. There's a couple more meets where she could qualify in other events, but she got there in that one, which was
in the butterfly.
Incredible. Dude, a marathon. 100 butterfly.
What?
I mean,
it's not a natural motion. It's the thing that kids don't want to do because it's the hardest stroke to do.
Yeah.
And 100?
Yeah, 100.
JO.
Big ass pool. Yeah, so JOs. So it was good. We had a great weekend.
Do you get some kind of gear? Like you get some kind of sweat thing that says JO so you can wear it to the pool so people can be like, "Oh, that's CC Coughlin. She's a JO. She made JO."
I don't believe so.
You know
like
JO
I said,
is.
We qualified for it, which means we're towards the back end. But to see her face and smile and emotion was awesome. And that being my first Saturday. Amidst the pool parents was really cool. And what a scene. But like these people, you talk about long days, you're in it.
Yeah, you put it in.
That temperature rises.
And the chlorine smell, the humidity in there.
And the other side of the hallway, there's some good pickup games going. That's a nice facility.
North Gym?
Oh.
That's where your boy used to put on shows back in the day. I go in there in some dock shoes and give people work before –
I noticed towards the other end was where the weight room is.
No,
I'm guessing you didn't mess with those doors.
No, we just get a run in. You get your 5. You guys can have next, and then you can go home too.
But Ellicott Hall looked to be popping.
Dump.
Because people were moving back in.
Absolute dump. I just love the ride and being able to have the work, right? Like we talked about this summer when Lila swam up and she wasn't, I'm going to get crushed. And my point to her, the whole thing was the point and qualifying and I'm going to finish last. She did, but whatever, you get the point. I mean, that's the thing that I love about swimming because I didn't do it, but the way that you can incrementally gain, the way you can feel like you're achieving, the way you can see your work rewarding you, that's just fantastic, man.
What's great is this is so dialed in that they'll have the heats like within seconds of each other. And, you know, she's towards the back end, but it's all about improving your time. It's not about winning races. There's no medals or nothing like that. So it's all about yourself against the clock, and that's what the selling point has been. And she knocked off in like 4 of the 5 races she did, so it was good. What is he doing?
Red's got a bottle. Shannon's trying to get it from him. Now we're playing a game. Now it's just
where she's on the floor crawling, trying to stay
off the camera shot. Hi, everybody. Come on, Red. There. Now what? Oh, now what? Now what? I mean, this is where we are. No, that's fantastic. That's so cool. And just we've had this conversation too about parenting, right? About the idea of you're proud of them, but like it's when you should be proud, right? Like hopefully the idea that she makes that is for herself. Like the validation comes from within, because that value can't put a price on that, man.
No.
Because you did the work.
Correct.
And you earned this time. You should feel proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Going during the weeknights and waking up at 6 in the morning
Hell
on Sundays.
Yeah. J.O.'s. Bang.
All right. We got a very important couple questions.
All right.
Amidst the storm.
I have a very important announcement coming, too. We'll get to that.
Okay. Now, we are going to be in treacherous driving situations where there's going to be obstacles on the side of the road.
Yep.
There's going to be cars double parked. There's going to be 2-lane roads that become 1 lane.
Things of that nature.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
Because it happens all the time when I'm leaving your house going down towards the highway. When you are driving down the road, right?
Uh-huh.
Say a simple neighborhood road, 2 lanes, one going one way, one going the other way. All right? Now, you have a car parked on your side of the road. Oncoming car is way back. Do you let the oncoming car come by first, or do you go and make that car stop?
I feel like it's who feels like they have the momentum.
Okay.
And who feels closer to it. Sometimes I'll just stop and be sort of, I don't know if it's polite's the right word. I mean, if it feels like there's a group of cars there coming this way,
this is just mano-y-mano.
I feel like if I'm moving and I feel like I'm eyeballing it and I've got the momentum, then I'll just kind of keep going. If I don't, then come on, I'm in no particular rush.
Okay.
What? What's?
I just feel like I always have the momentum, so no matter where the car is,
and you're in that
going.
big ass Denali. Like who's messing with you?
The idea that but the problem is the people that stop, they stop in the middle. So you can't even get by if they were like asking you to get by, you know?
Well, some people get frantic when they drive and they're like, they don't know what to do. And then they fuck it up because they get nervous. Just come on, we'll be fine.
Yeah. And one other thing too, in the parking lots and shopping centers and all that, if you see a Tesla, just walk in front because the car stops. It's great. You have to walk. It's awesome.
You have the right of way because it will stop?
The car stops. Yeah. I did it 20 times in the last weekend.
You saw 20 Teslas in parking lots?
Oh, God, yeah.
Just walk right in front of them.
Just walk in front of them. It'll stop.
I feel like I would always doubt that. Okay. And I wouldn't want to find out.
I'm not saying they're going 20 miles an hour. I'm saying they're,
in a parking lot.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I share this important announcement with people?
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, very, very important news. Coming soon to the merch section. We did it. All of us together. A groundswell of support from our listeners. Poop Town is coming. Put it on a shirt. Wear it proudly. Now, all of you that said you needed Poop Town shirts, that's a verbal contract. You have to buy them. That's how it works. You got to buy. Then, this is the key part. Then you got to wear them. I need shots of you in the wild and Poop Town shirts so I could go, see? Because I might have represented to the highest officials in the land that Poop Town is a must. Might have staked my rep that we were going to move this merch. And this is not about money for shirts. This is about reputations. And I put mine on the line over a shirt that said Poop Town. Mechanical, given, pitchy, woo-woo. Those, I'm not sure, make your fouls. I'm not sure what the list of stuff that's next is. But I know that Poop Town is coming. Now, I said I want TM after Poop Town because I just think it's funny. And then I was told, well, I don't think you can do that. Like, someone else trademarked Poop Town? It's just a joke.
Let's just call the donor in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
They'll get it through.
Sure. Hey, can I get it in? I need a temporary circuit court injunction for Poop Town trademark.
For a calendar year.
It's fine. It's for the kids.
Yeah, for the kids.
Or somebody. But it's coming.
It's got to be brown.
The shirt?
Yes.
The shirt? See, I want it to be a happy Poop Town shirt.
Oh, I want brown.
Who wears a brown shirt?
Exactly.
Who wears a shirt that says Poop Town?
Woj and St. Bonnie's gear. They have brown.
Shout out to Woj.
Tough loss the other night. They got to get back on track.
That league will get you.
St. Louis team ain't bad.
Oh, that guy's in demand.
Mm-hmm.
They play a very high energy, high scoring brand of hoop.
They do.
I think they had
Not
50.
hoop.
Hoop Town. Not Poop Town. They had 56 at the half, I think, the other night.
Up 30.
At the Bonnie.
They were up 30.
It's coming. When? Don't know. But next iteration of stuff. And we're gonna work on that.
I think Poop Town and Mechanical are gonna be rival sellers.
We'll find out once there's
crunch some numbers.
That's exactly right. We'll see. Mechanical truly has become a thing.
Wait till now with this storm. You think we got a lot of Mechanical tweets?
The Bucks apparently couldn't go to their game. #Mechanical.
Oh yeah.
And these aren't even mechanical. This is weather front, Steve. They shut down the whole DCA. They're like, fuck it. We're not messing with this. No, thank you. And that's that tiny little runway down there. You can't mess around. You got to clean it off. And that's probably phase 1, I would guess, is the runways there. Phase 4 is over there off of Falls, rather. Come on. Maybe they scraped it off, Steve.
No. Let me see. I just asked. I sent a text.
Well, we're working tonight, so I expect you to get in the Denali, put on a crash helmet, and just run people off the. Just don't even wait to see. Is it my turn? It's my turn.
Don't worry about that. Canal Street, look out. Claire Barton.
Just gunning it down the middle. Tonight will be the night some dumbass deer is just standing in the middle looking at you like, huh?
How about the army we saw the other night?
When we drove home, there had to be 25 deer.
They're big Bullis fans.
Evidently.
They're outside the gates.
There were double-digit deer. Singular
Every night,
plural.
Man.
Deer.
No, deer.
Yeah, 1 deer, 2 deer.
Yeah.
Doe a deer. I don't know what's going on. There were 10 of them, not 25. Easily 10. Am I lying?
Oh, no. It's all the time, man.
That's fine. All right. We got J.O. We got Poop Town shirts coming. We got stuff.
Two quick gambling thoughts.
Okay, and then we're leaving.
Yep.
I'm going.
Gino and the UConn women are -250 to win the NCAA championship.
Lay them.
And the Celtics are now your favorite in the Eastern Conference.
That's amazing to me.
Crazy.
That we had that with Windhorst the other night. I said 1 to 10. What's the how surprised are you? And then he did this. He did 6-7. That was my fault.
It was your fault.
6-7. Oh, you're doing the same thing my 8-year-old does. You feel good about that? That's an incredible story that they're that. Let's take a look at that Eastern Conference. Like, I didn't know Toronto was going to be this good either.
Yeah. Good win last night.
Sneaky. Detroit, the current 1 seed, Boston, Toronto. Like, okay. Didn't know that. Didn't expect that.
Supposed to be the Knicks window. Remember that?
Still could be.
Off season.
Still could be. Yeah. We'll see. All right.
All right.
We have I'm going to go sled.
I'm going to go shovel and then sled.
Okay. Sled, then shovel, then work, potentially. Yeah. All right.
As long as my road gets plowed.
If it doesn't, it's fine. We'll figure it out. Everybody out there, be safe, stay warm. Again, to our friends down south, let's hope that ice melts soon. Be careful out there. We're thinking of you wherever you're at. Appreciate you making time for us. We'll see you next Monday. Actually, we won't. We'll be in someplace else, but some other time. Programming to be determined.